pointed at you to come and empower them, considering they have so many projects they want to accomplish within 1 year, but they don't have enough resources. So they want to get from the horse mouths who have made it, how do you mobilize resources to carpet to tile all the schools in Kiharu, make them academy, and they would like also to meet the student needs within the University of Nairobi within the shortest time possible, because their time frame is only 1 year. So within that time, how do they raise the resources and meet the student needs? Thank you.
Just to confirm, I'll be coming. I've been chatting with the dean, and I'll also be attending that function. I'm sure we can handle that more holistically there. Thank you very much, Bwana Kenywa.
Thank you so much for that presentation. I'm not asking a question, just something that was burning in me. In 2024, now going to 2025, Kenya records 2 trillion mark in last year in terms of fixed deposit. And that means Kenyans have 2 trillion lying in the bank, earning just interest, and there's no investment in ideas that we are talking about. And this is a very great example that we're already gathering knowledge, and we need to start selling ideas so that this 2 trillion that is lying in the bank can be translated into the capital that you are looking for. A simple example I'll give you is when we were doing a proposal for Ngong Road, I was still not employed, and that was in intelligent transport system. There was no capital, there was no money, but there was an idea, which was sold to the Japanese. And when they looked at it, they realized that this idea is worthwhile, we can test it. And therefore, what happened is, I also moved to suppliers, and I had a meeting with MedSec that I have an idea that requires cables. And this client, because it's a JICA-funded project, you'll be paid when I'm paid. And because there's credibility in the project, they were able to provide all the materials required for us to do this project in the Ngong Road. The importation that happened in terms of all the equipment on the meetings that we had, some of them I met them online. I Googled some of these companies and strike a deal on a meeting. Some of them flew to the country and came to have a meeting here. And they invested and provided materials, equipments that allowed us to realize our first ITS, which was the award winning in Kenya in terms of ITS for the project of traffic intelligence. So students, don't say that I don't have money, so I cannot run a project. And you've been in this institution for 5 years. How much does it cost for 1 year in a parallel degree program? More than 300 or 400,000, time and everything. So by the time you're finishing, you're already worth more than 500 or 200 million by yourself. You are a working capital. You are a working capital by yourself. If you look at primary school, high school, you finance. If it costs you as a person, just like costing this cake, you will say it is worth. So if we are looking at you, what are you worth in terms of yourself? Those investments is already money. And people are looking for ideas. Even us at NAS, I look for ideas in my people. They come tell me, why not supply something to Kijabe Hospital? We saw they are looking for people to supply eggs. I say, oh, how nice. Let's supply eggs to them, you know? So look for ideas by yourself. Start thinking deep. Stop thinking about where money is going to come from. Anywhere you walk to, people are looking for 2 trillion is lying in the bank in Kenya. Right now, it has gone to above 2 trillion. Just people putting money in fixed deposit is lying there for 3 years. There is no place to invest this money into. So we can tap into some of this venture capital to be able to help us to move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Engineer. I believe we have had his advice. Do we have any other question? The last one, kindly. Cameraman. And then Mark, Miss Ama, come so that we finish.
Thank you so much. My name is Hassan Mogeni. Honorable, you have performed so well. I'd like to know what motivated you to do the projects you have done, given that all the MPs in Kenya get the same amount or almost the same amount, but you have this thought about your people at Kiharu. What motivated you to do that, all that?
I mean, one of the things that motivates us is where we come from. Where I come from, in terms of the challenges that are there, just a drive to make sure that other parents do not have to be as embarrassed when they are going to kujitetea mtoto wao sikufukuzwe shule, as I did. But also in terms of infrastructure, we have been able to achieve all that actually out of engineering. So I should also commend you as engineers. Because we have a program in Kiharu where instead of giving a business person a contract, we engage people directly. And if there is an engineer then, he's not employed by the contractor. He is engaged in the project directly. So we do what is called labor-based. So out of that, we've been able to achieve a lot. If you give a Kiharu school 1 million shillings, and you give another one 1 million shillings, and I'm talking purely about CDF, then this other one, by the time you leave the gate of that school, the contractor leaves with 30% because they are not philanthropists. They are there to make money. Then the taxman leaves with another 16% embedded in the BQ. So 46% is already gone before you start the project. Now in Kiharu, the first shilling starts from the project and the last one is spent in the project because there's no contractor in those schools. We have trained our own people, the rather sophisticated skills like fixing tiles. We in-house trained Kiharu people, 150 of them, to do that. There is also a lot of professional painting that happens, which you also trained a battalion of 150. The other labor, like the normal mason, we get it from the local community. When it is dirishas and doors, we have our measurements, we have our standards. So we have standardized. So a classroom has this by this door, this by this window, with this gauge of chuma. So we've already priced it. So there's no room for anyone to even inflate the price. And again, we give that local person. If you are building school A, village A is the one that provides that kind of materials and labor. And if you don't have, the next village provides. So all that ecosystem makes sure that work is done more, then more quality job, but also more importantly, that taxonomy, that area economically also benefits directly from those projects.
Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, my name is Njoro Gemak. Thank you for being here with us today. As young civil engineers about to enter the field, we are full of hope and passion to build Kenya, quite literally. We believe in the potential of this country and in the resilience and creativity of its people. Many Kenyans, especially the youth, are thriving in global spaces. You'll see guys going to UK, to Germany, to the US. Not because they love those countries more, but because the systems there are structured to support growth and innovation. Yet, Kenya is our home. No matter where we go, this is where our heart belongs. With that in mind, my question is, how can governance, especially in terms of accountability, consistency in policy, and fighting corruption, be strengthened to create more enabling environment for young professionals who genuinely want to stay, build, and prosper here at home? Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a question that needs a rather political answer, but for today, I will try not to get there. But in terms of answering that question, sincerity is very important. That's number one. When you are running a country, running a constituency, running a county, running an institution, let's say Kura. Sincerity. This is my personal, my basic raw interaction with leadership. You have to be sincere now, number one, that you want to do some general good. If anything else comes above that, no matter what kind of policy you make, it will not be for the general good. Because people take cue from the leader. Country, agency, constituency, whatever policies I make, but as an MP, for example, in Kiharu, I then say, when Muchaga is being supplied, there is something I'm getting. That policy collapses there, and then hapo. So sincerity is very important. Number two is that even as policies are made, there has to be broad consultations. My training is not your training. So when I'm making policies about you, and I don't consult you as the person who is well-versed, then I'll make a policy that is lopsided. Lastly, the broader vision of the country or the agency or that other level of government, whether a county or a constituency, has to be aligned with the times. So that the chips, the parts form the whole. You start with what is it that I want as a whole. I'm making a vehicle. So the wiper, the windscreen, the radio in that vehicle has to fit in with what is already envisioned. But many times we put the cart ahead of the horse. You are here trying to fix things, but you don't know you are fixing them for what. You are making a vehicle, so everything you are doing is aligned. I'm doing a wiper exactly for this windscreen, and it has to fit in. Unfortunately, what I've seen in many countries, including our own, we are very reactive in policies. We make a policy because people have talked about that area. Then we rush, make a policy. But it is fitting into what whole? We have to envision the whole for us to make the parts. I actually don't know whether we still have a whole called Vision 2030. So that the parts we are making fit into that. I am not sure whether we still, at the back of our mind, have that. To cap it up macroly, because you forgive me when I just got back to economics. South Korea, we know today, grew out of a policy that was implemented from 1960 to 1979. What was the whole? The whole was to grow the economy through export-led policies. So you've already identified you want to grow the economy. But the other broader thing is that you are focusing on exports. So you already have the whole. The parts that fill in was then the government sits down and asks, which imports, which exports are we talking about? That is how government literally directly helped Samsung. That is how the government directly through policy assisted LG. The government directly assisted Hyundai. But they are not assisting a businessman to make profit. They were neither doing patronage to assist their own companies to make profit. They were assisting Hyundai to fit in as part of the whole, and it worked.
Thank you. Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for the very informative session. I believe we've all learned something new. I'd like to give Mushemi.
Thank you, Debbie. A round of applause for Mheshimiwa. Maybe before you go, Mheshimiwa, in the eloquence of your address, you have reiterated the words of Professor Stab, President of Finland, who visited the university 3 weeks ago. And he asked us to demonstrate the need to embed intellectualism in political leadership. And I must applaud you for the work you've done in Kiharu, and as well as Rocha said it, you also are holding hands of very many young people out there who have dreams. Thank you so much, and may the Almighty God continue blessing you. Allow me to invite on stage Ms. Vera Gitonga to award and to express our gratitude for you being with us here tonight and for the wisdom and the insights that you have shared with us through your keynote address. A round of applause for Mheshimiwa. As it is African, allow us as well to send you as our agency to Kiharu. Send our greetings to Kiharu. Now, I know we have come to, it's just there about 11. Na labda njaa inashika kidogo na labda mnashindwa hiyo mzee naongea tu. So I want us now to look at this beautiful work of art that is prostrated before us for our consumption. Before we go to the rest pale nyuma, allow me to invite Vera, Debbie, CEO, Engineer Airo, our DG, the Dean of Students, to please join these awesome ladies as we cut this cake to symbolize the end of a journey so beautiful, so marred by adversity, but finally having won. Mheshimiwa, please. Engineer Modhomi, Engineer Law, as members of faculty, Engineer Jackton, Akenya, Immaculate, please. Debbie, you know this is not my cup of tea, eh? So we are exclusively under your leadership.
NAS International, one of our sponsors, did the cake for us. So we applaud them. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay. So let's cut the cake.
Sasa, Rais, wewe unafanya maneno gani huko chini? A round of applause for Rais as he joins the team as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the lady in a very beautiful red dress for a while was the chairperson of the Engineering Students Association. She also comes from this class. A round of applause to that awesome class for the victory that has come this far. Congratulations. It is my desire that we'll be able The rest of us get served with cake. Now, I hope we have deliberated on those of us who might be probable candidates for the best dressed lady and the best dressed gent. Vera, Rocha asipotoka hapo na keki, nitakudunga news. I want us to close this charade, this game here. Eh? Thank you so much. A round of applause for Vera and Debbie for taking us through that awesome session. Oira had to ensure he comes near the plate. Now, I'll ask us to allow that table 1 proceeds to the serving point, which is right behind there, followed by table 3. Please. Table 1. Bonadine, Mheshimiwa, you may proceed and serve first. We have dinner ready, it's ready to serve. We have a buffet set up, which I hope will be accommodating to us.